Welcome back. Everyone's back. Yes. Anyone has any doubt till this point or anything? Okay. Is everyone back? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, let's do an interesting problem. This is a very, very, very crucial, method that we are going to do. It's the same thing. We are doing present value calculation only, but this is one of the twists that can occur in exam. So I've put this example out here, and this is very interesting. So all your technique will come to play now. So let's do it step by step and understand. A software company in New Zealand has recently announced a pension plan. There's a lot of discussion about pension plans, and I'll discuss that in detail when we do retirement planning. What are pension plans and what are the different pension funds in the world? I'll discuss at that time. So software company in New Zealand has recently announced a pension plan. The finance manager expects that there will be an outflow for pension payments of New Zealand dollar 800,000 per year from the end of 7th year. And then they have said the payment will continue for a period of 25 years thereafter. So if I read now this statement, what do I get, guys? I am going to get pension of 800,000 per year from the end of 7th year. So if I plot this in a timeline now, I will get from the end of 7th year, I will get an amount of 800,000. And I will get this amount till 25 more years. The payment will continue for a period of 25 years thereafter. So how many total payments I will have of 800,000, guys?
25.
25. So your N is going to be 25. And that amount will begin from end of 7th year, correct? What is the present value of this liability today? Today. So they are asking me what is the present value, not during 7th or something. They are asking me present value today. So what is the situation between this? I know that there are cash flows after 7th year, but the thing is, what are the cash flows before this period? So between 0 to 7th, what are the cash flows that you have?
Zero.
You don't have any cash flows, correct?
Yes.
So what will I have to do is that first I will have to draw. Now there are two methods of doing this. I'm discussing the first method and then I'll go with the second method. The first thing is that I will have to bring the annuities of 800,000 to the present value. But when I put that into my calculator, where will I get the value? Remember when you were putting end of the period cash flows. So for example, your annuity started after 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, and so on. You used to get the cash flows, right? So if you bring everything to the present value, where would that
End of 6th year.
Very good. Why end of 6th year?
Because the payment will start from 7th year.
Correct. Because the payment starts from 7th year, and since your calculator is at the end of the period mode by itself, it considers the cash flow after 1 year. So after 1 year, which means after 1 year, that is 7th, 8th, 9, and so on. So when I bring all the cash flows to present value, all the 800,000 cash flows, it will not come at the end of 7th year, but it will come at the end of 6th year. Remember, always the present value pushes you a year back if your calculator is at the end of the period. I'll repeat, The present value pushes a year back. For example, here if you see in this example 4 that we did, we had cash flows beginning after 1 year, 100,000. So all the cash flows, they pull you a year back. So your present value comes at year 0. If your cash flow starts from first year, your PV comes at year 0. If your cash flow starts from year 7, then your PV comes a year back, that is at PV 6. Are you getting this point, everyone? So when I'll do the present value of all this 808,000, which begins from the end of 7th year, I will get the PV at 0.6, that is year 6. Everyone with me? So what is going to be the future value in this case? What should I put the future value?
0.
Very good. N is 25.
25.
And the rate of interest they've given is 6%. PMT, I will be putting 800,000. And then when you press PV, compute PV, you will get PV, but that is at the 0.6, that is at the end of year 6. Correct? Let me know your PV, guys.
10226,684.
Correct, that is
0.93.
10226,684.93, right? I'm just rounding it off.
Yes.
2685. Everyone with me on this? What did I do? In my first step, I'm calculating the present value of all the next year's cash flow. But for me, that next year is after 6th year, which is from 7th year, all the cash flows are going to be received, not from today or not from next year, that is after 1 year. So from 7th year, I'm going to get all the cash flows. If I take the present value of all of them, it pushes me a year back. That is, I get the PV at year 6. That is 10,226,685 rounded off. Everyone with me on this? But what do I need? I need the present value not at the end of 6th year. I need the present value at the end of 0th year, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So now, if you imagine from the point of year 0, you have a cash flow at the end of 6th year, which you have to bring it to the present. So can I say right now on your screen, what you have, your PV will now become your FV.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
So already in your calculator, you have the PV, right? Just press FV and it will automatically become FV there. Correct? Everyone? So guys, what you have PV is now going to become your FV. Everyone with me? You can either do this way, directly pressing FV, or you can store this and then again put this amount as FV. You can do both ways, no problem. Everyone, so now this is my FV, correct? But this is at the year 6. So from year 6, I'm coming back to year 0. So what is going to be my N? My N is going to be
6.
6 years. My I by Y will remain 6 again. But now an interesting thing will be, what will be my PMT?
0.
Very good. Why 0? Because there is no cash flow in between. In between 0 and 6 years, there is no cash flow. So my PMT has to be 6. And when I do this, I will get my PV. But now the PV will be at 0.0. Yes. Anyone with the answer?
7209409.33.
Very good. Very good. So what are the 2 steps we did here? First, in first step, we calculated the PV not today, but at the future date, which is year 6. Correct? And once we got the PV of all the annuities, we pulled out all the annuities that we got in terms of PV. We pulled that PV back to PV 0. So that PV of 6 now becomes my FV. So the FV that you see in the second step, this is nothing but it was my PV 6, isn't it? Got it, everyone? Everyone? Anyone has any questions? Why was all this scenario? Let me again draw the timeline. It was all because of the cash flow being very weird. So here, if you look at again the timeline, from 0 till 6th year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6th year, you had no cash flow. And from 7th year, your cash flow started till the next 25 years. So from 7th year, your cash flow was 800,000. 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. So when I got the present value of all these, it gives me a year back. So this is where I got my present value at year 6 of all the future cash flows. And then I put this PV as FE, and then I got my PV 0. Because all these cash flows in between were 0. Everyone with me? Clear? Everyone? Anyone has any doubt here? Are you all interested in seeing the second method? And I'm sure second method will be more interesting, because that is, and of course, when I'll reveal the second method, I don't think that, how will I come to know in exam? It will gradually happen. Everyone, this first method is clear to everyone. Anyone has any doubt? Okay. Now, what is the second method? Guys, the second method you already know is the cash flow method. So, can you go to the cash flow function, CF0? The first thing that we do is clear the previous thing. How do we do that? Second, clear. Everyone with me? Now, watch the timeline carefully. Watch the timeline carefully. On your screen, you have CF0. What should be CF0? Yes, what should be CF0? Guys, your CF0 should be 0, isn't it? Because there's no cash flow today. So your CF0 will be 0. Your C01, that is cash flow at the year 1. What should that be? Do you have any cash flow in year 1? Well,
No.
in year 1 also you have no cash flow. And
No cash.
for how many years you have no cash flow?
For 6 more years.
Till 6 more years. So your C01 will also be 0, and the frequency you are going to put is 6. Why? In F01 you'll put 6, enter. Why 6, enter? Because till 6th year you have no cash flows. So your C01 will also be 6. Then you press the down arrow key, and your F01 will now be 6, because if you watch the timeline, till the 6th year you have no cash flow. Clear? From 7th year, you have a cash flow of 800,000. So your C02 will now be 800,000. Enter. And for how many frequencies do you have this amount? How many
25 years.
25. So the frequency that after, when you press down arrow key, the frequency that you're going to put is 25, enter. Got it? After that, when you press the down arrow key, you have to press NPV. Your rate of interest there is 6. Everyone. And then again, you press down arrow key, or you get your NPV, you press compute, and you'll directly get this answer. Are you getting it, everyone?
Yes.
Isn't this more interesting now? See, this is where things will gradually develop. You have now 2 cash flows, but you had the annuity of 0 and you had an annuity of different amount. This is where the frequency F01 comes to play. So instead of going through the lengthy process in first method, right, I have directly taken everything to year 0, where I've taken the first 6 cash flows as 0 with frequency 6, and the next 800,000 frequency I have taken 25 for the next 800,000 cash flow, took everything into the one function and got the NPV, which is at 0.0. Everyone with me on this method? Of course, I'm sure you are very keen now that I'll use the second method, but the reason of showing both the methods is you should know both the methods. Whichever method you may have to use, you may not be sure. That the exam question will decide. But again, I'm sure everyone will be biased towards the method 2. Isn't the method 2 the shorter one and the easier one and more logical now? Anyone has any doubts? If you want to try it again, press CF, second clear. CF0 will be 0 because there is no cash flow today. C01 will also be 0 for 6 frequencies. It will be 0 because till 6th year there is no cash flow. Then you put C02, second cash flow is 800,000, and that is for 25 times. So your second frequency will be 25, enter. Then you press NPV, your rate of interest is 6, so you press 6, enter, and then when you press down arrow key, you have NPV on your screen, press compute, you'll get exactly the same answer. Everyone cleared? Anyone has any doubts? Correct? Now, guys, if the question asks you, like in this question, you were asked directly present value or present value at year 6. What were you asked?
Present value.
Present value today, directly PV 0, right? Well, in that case, it's of course visible that the second method that you saw is going to be easier and quicker, right? But I have seen some questions in CFA Institute where they ask you what is the present value at the end of 6th year and what is the present value today. Well, if they ask you these two things, then by doing directly PV0, you may get the PV0, but not the present value at year 6. Are you getting me? So then you may have to do the first method also, wherein you first find the PV6 and then the PV0. Clear? If they directly ask you PV0 again, guys, then you can directly do the cash flow function and get the PV0. But in case if they ask you PV6, then it will be, then you will first have to calculate PMT function through the PMT function PV6 and then pull everything back to PV0. So the reason I'm showing you both the method, in fact, the lengthy method, the reason I'm showing you, because there are questions in CFA Institute where they actually ask you not directly PV0, they ask you both. So you may have to go through the lengthy process also. Got it, everyone? Why did I show both the methods? If they ask you directly present value today, you don't have to do the longer method, that is first method. You directly jump to the cash flow function and do the easier one. Clear, everyone? Right? Everyone. So now, would you want to try a question like this?
Yes.
Of course, you don't have a choice. I'll make you try.
Food
So-
stations.
So, an investor will receive, and guys, you have to tell me, okay, which method you will go for. An investor will receive 7,000 at the end of each quarter for 15 quarters. Okay. Now, from yearly, I'm coming to a bit of complicated things. The first payment is at the end of 2.5 years. If the interest is 9% compounded quarterly, what is the present value today of this series of payments? Are you directly asked the present value today, or are you asked somewhere in between also? You were asked directly the present value today, right?
Yes.
So just a small hint that you can directly use the cash flow function. Now, what are the inputs that you're going to put? That I leave it to you. Take your time and solve it. Remember, timeline, equation, and then calculation. So don't rush. At any time you're confused for more than 3 seconds, draw a timeline. Anytime you're confused after drawing the timeline, watch the timeline again. The timeline is your answer. So take your time, plot things on the timeline, and then put into the equation and then calculate. Okay, go ahead. I'll just highlight the key things here. 7,000 at the end of the each quarter for 15 quarters, 2.5 years, 9% compounded quarterly. What is the present value today? Yes. Anyone who gets the answer, do let me know. Anyone ready with the timeline at least? Anyone can help me with timeline? It will be 0 initially, right?
Yes.
Till what point will it be 0? Or you can say, when will the cash flow begin? 7,000 will begin from what point?
10,
Sixth quarter.
6. No.
Which period from the end of
Fifth quarter.
fifth quarter?
2.5 years.
10
2.5
or
years. In
10.
2.5
10,
years,
10.
you have 10, right? So
Yeah.
can I say the first cash flow of 7,000 will start from 10th
10th quarter.
quarter? Because they have said at the end of 2.5 years, and 2.5 years is at the end of 10th quarter. Correct. And how many such cash flows are you going to receive, guys? 15. So my frequency in that will be 15. So because everything is quarterly, right? So till what frequency you will get 0? How many frequency you should put 0?
9.
Very good. You should put 9 frequency as 0, not 10, because that from the 10th frequency, from the 10th quarter, you will start getting the money. Clear, everyone? Very important. This was very important. Correct. So now put everything here, guys. Your CF0 is going to be 0. Your C01 will be 0. Your frequency will be
9.
9. Your C02 will be 7,000. Your frequency in that case will be
15.
And what is going to be your I?
9 by 12.
9
2.25.
by 4.
2.25.
Why 9 by 4, guys? Because it is quarterly. And yes, that is 2.25. Most of the students would do mistake here. Either they take 9 or 9 by 12 or something else. Remember, everything is now quarter. So don't keep it 9. First of all, many must have also done 9. Even that is wrong. You have to do quarterly. So you'll do 9 by 4. This is where students commit a mistake because their entire focus is on the cash flow, right? So they forget the rate of interest, which is always annual. So you have to split it. Then when you press PV, NPV, you'll get the answer. Yes. Anyone?
7263.31.
Very good. That is your answer. Again, the most important thing was from the 10th quarter it starts, everything is in quarter. So your rate of interest should also be in the quarter. Correct. Very important sum. Focus is very essential here. Clear. Everyone. Anyone has any issues? Right? I've directly calculated the PV here, guys, because they're asking me present value today. If they ask me what is the present value in between, then I would have first calculated the present value at the 9th quarter because the cash flow starts from 10th quarter, and then I would have pulled everything back to year 0. That would have taken more time, but if they ask you what is the present value at the 9th quarter, then I may have to do that. If they don't ask you and if they directly ask you what is the present value today, then you can just simply do the cash flow function. Clear? Anyone has any doubt? This is a very, very important question. The last two ones are very important examples. Yes, anyone has any doubts? I hope everyone has got the answers. Again, timeline, equation and calculation. That is more interesting here. So what all things we have covered, guys? Just if we look at the index, I can say we are done with single cash flow, multiple cash flow, with annuities. We are done with unequal cash flows. And now what is that we are going to focus on? Perpetual cash flows. Now, what is the difference in perpetual cash flows compared to the other cash flows? Here, N will be infinite because you are going to get cash flows forever. Correct? Perpetual cash flow situation comes when you probably have invested in an instrument which pays you an amount forever. What is that? That's like a perpetual bond. A perpetual bond pays you coupon forever. Perpetual bond pays you interest forever, right? You have invested in a pension fund which pays you pension forever. So there are many instruments in real life which pays you a consistent amount forever. Those are called perpetual instruments. In perpetual instruments, guys, you have to bring everything probably to the present value, but the number of cash flows here are infinite. Perpetual bonds or perpetuity instruments are also called as console in UK. In UK, they have a term called console. So you may come across this term a lot of time. So I've given up their example. Therefore, the only cash flow, for example, if you invest in a perpetual bond, is that what you're going to get is coupon, which is interest and which is going to be forever. But you're not going to get your principal back. So these are called perpetual bonds. We are going to discuss in depth about perpetual bonds when we do fixed income. So this entire concept of perpetuity will come back when you do fixed income as well. But what happens in a perpetual bond? The only thing that you're going to get is a fixed amount forever. That fixed amount forever is like an annuity forever. So you're going to get PMT forever. So let's say a perpetual bond is of $1,000. Let me put up an example here. A perpetual bond is of $1,000, which is going to pay a return of 10% on it. So that is $100. So you're going to get $100 for it. Here, what was 1,000, guys? 1,000 was nothing but the present value of the bond, I can say, or present value of the perpetual instrument. I multiplied that with the rate of return, and then what I got 100 is the amount that I'm going to get forever. That amount for me is nothing but PMT, you can say, isn't it? Clear? So if you have present value, if you have returns, then you can find the annuity amount. Or if you have the annuity amount, guys, that is PMT, and if you divide that by the rate of return, what you will get is the present value. It's one or the other way, correct? So three things. One is the present value of the perpetuity. Second is the rate of return, which we call as I by Y. And the third is annuity, which is what we call as PMT. Out of any three, if you have, out of the three, if you have any two, you can find the third one. Correct, everyone? So here, if you see the formula, what is the formula of perpetuity? Present value is nothing but A over R. A is nothing but our PMT, annuity, and R is nothing but, you can say, I by Y, rate of interest. Clear, everyone? So easy. So here, question 5 that you see, this example, rate of return on perpetuity. Bank of England had issued a perpetual bond. Assume that the price of such a bond is 98.2. And very important, it pays 4.1% interest annually. Interest annually? Guys, interest. Remember, interest is always and always calculated on
per annum basis.
face value and not on the price. In bonds, there is one interesting thing that you will write a note here, guys. You will write a note here. Interest is always calculated on face value and not on price. Everyone, interest is always calculated on face value. Similarly, in equities, dividend is always calculated on face value, not on the share price. Correct? So here I'm going to get 4.1% interest on 98.2 or on 100?
100.
100. Correct. So can I say my annuity amount will be 4.1% on 100, which is nothing but 4.1? That is going to be my PMT. And the present value of the bond that they've given me is 98.2. So as per the formula, guys, my formula was present value equals to PMT over the rate of return, right? Here I have everything else. So if I want to find the rate of return, I will find R. I will take R on the other side. It will be nothing but the annuity over the present value, isn't it? So can you calculate R, the rate of return? You're going to get 4.1 on your investment of 98.2. So you're going to get 4.1 divided by 98.2. Yes. What is your answer, guys? It will be slightly higher than 4.1. 4.18 or 18, correct? So interesting thing here, guys, if you have price, if you have return, then you can find the third part, that is you can find the annuity. If you have annuity, if you have return, you can find price and so on. So if you now look at this example, someone who invests 98.2 today in this bond will be getting 4.1 forever. So he's making 4.1 on 98.2 dollar of or pound of investment. So his return is 4.18%. That return is nothing but here my I. Everyone, clear? Okay. Can we try the next one? In the next one, they have told me what is the present value of perpetuity of 4,000 per year, perpetuity per year, that starts at the end of 7th year. So it doesn't start immediately. It starts at the end of 7th year. Till what year? Forever, isn't it? And they have said that the perpetuity is of 4,000. Everyone, you are trying to find the present value. So you're trying to find the value today. How will you find that, guys? Can anyone walk me through this?
Cash flow.
Very good. What will you put in the cash flow function?
CF0
Will be
enter 0.
CF0 will be 0.
CF1 will be 0.
CF1 will be 0. Till what point it will be 0?
6 frequencies.
Yes, till the 6th year it will be 0. Your C02 will be
4,000.
till what point?
Infinity.
So you
999.
yes, yes. Instead of infinity, you will put there
999.
999. Very good.
NPV.
And then you put your NPV as 10%. You will directly get the present value today, which is going to be
22,579.
22578.9, or you can directly write 22579. Very good. Very good. Correct. This is directly getting the cash flow to year 0. Very interesting. The only twist was that the frequency in the second part was 999. That was the important and crucial thing here. Clear? If I were to do this in the traditional method, what would I do? First, I'll have to bring everything to point number where year 6.
P6.
But PMT was 4,000. My rate of return in this case, guys, is 10%. So when you do 4,000 divide by 10%, you get a value of 40,000. That 40,000 would be at 0.6, year 6. Remember, it pulls you a year back. Correct? So from that point, if I want to now come back, so that 40,000 will now become my future value. My rate of return again is the same thing, that is 10%. My PMT would be now 0 because in between I have nothing. And my number of year would be 6. And then if you would solve, you would still get the same answer. Your answer would be exactly same, 22579. This is the linear method, but this is also acceptable. The logic remains the same, 22579. Of course, I'm sure by now you would be more comfortable with the cash flow function whenever there are weird cash flows. Everyone with me on this? Any questions here? Anyone has any doubt?
No, sir.
No? Okay. Guys, is my Excel sheet visible? Everyone?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Now, has anyone ever taken a loan? Any one of you have taken a loan or have seen someone taking a home loan? Or do you want a loan? I'm offering you.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm offering you a loan. I'm taking all the credit risk. Okay. So, what is the loan that you want? 100,000? Will do.
100 billion कर दो, छोटा छोटा क्यों करो? मेरे को थोड़ी वापस देना.
To get 1 billion, that is very much possible. You'll have to find a local bank from yours, a cooperative bank, and go there and ask that you need 1 billion. But when you go there, go in a very well suit, a blazer, go with a Lamborghini or an SUV, and tell them that you are a millionaire already, and then they will give you 1 billion. But if you go and ask them that you need a 5 lakh loan or 500,000 loan for home loan, they will tell you, get out of the bank. The bank is not for you. So in India, if you go to the bank and if you ask for billions, they will give. If you ask for a typical home loan, they will ask you 999 documents, infinite documents, which you will never be able to give, and you'll have to rush to agents and all. So getting
Badi
$1 billion
judgment.
loan in India is possible, but getting a 2 million loan is difficult. Home loan is difficult. Corporate loan is easy if you pay enough the charges.
बड़ी judgmental bank है sir.
Sorry?
बड़ी judgmental bank है.
No, in our country, fortunately or unfortunately, we have banks who are ready to lend money because it is not their money, it is public money. And if something crops up, then that's fine. If something doesn't crop up, then everyone makes enough money by lending. So that's the unfortunate corporate misgovernance which is happening. And that's the reason why you see a lot of banking scams now coming up, and they're the same scam. It's just that giving loan to people who do not have enough credibility, right? Now that's the case with a normal bank manager or with the head of the big banks like Yes Bank and all, or with ICICI. You see all the top bankers, many of the top bankers in the jail now because of the same culture that we have, where we give loan to people without seeing their proper credit and without going through their proper credit background, and just giving loan because we know them by reference. That's an unfortunate thing. Anyways, so here let me give you a $100,000 or rupee loan. What is the rate of interest, guys, generally for a home loan in India? Let me
6 to 7%.
6 to 7. Okay. Let me take a bit higher. Let me take 10.
नहीं चाहिए लोन.
No, it's still cheaper. Okay. 10% you take the loan. What people do in India? They take, even let's say if I want to buy a home, I have the money. Still what I'll do, I'll take a home loan. I will use that money for my business, because if I go for a corporate loan, it's going to be way higher. Okay. So this is what people in India do. We take home loan not for home. We take home loan so that we can use that for business. Who's going to give you a business loan at 6-7% for 20 years? People struggle so much. So even if you have money for your home, do not buy your home, borrow money for your home, and use that money in your business. That's going to be a very good working capital or long-term capital at a very cheap rate. Got it? This is all inclusive in the classes fees, all this advisory. So next time when you go to buy a home, and if you have the money, don't buy a home from your money, borrow it from the bank. And if you are, of course, if you are abroad, then the rate of interest is so low that you can use that for your business. Correct? The duration I'm taking here is 3 years. Let me take a 3-year loan. You know what, in loan, what is the last payment? What is the future value of the loan? The last installment, nothing, right? The future value of the loan is 0. Got it? So what will be the installment of the loan is what we can find. Now guys, how can you find that? In your calculator, what are you going to put? PVS 100,000? You can put negative 100,000 if you want. Everyone with me? IV, put 10 as IV, 3 as N, FV as 0, and calculate PMT. Let me know if you get 40,211.48. Everyone. Are you getting it? 40,211.48. Why PV 100,000? Because that's the loan amount. You know, if you take a loan, you get a cash flow today. This is your rate of interest that I've taken. Everyone. N is nothing but the tenure of your loan. FV is your last installment principal component, which is going to be 0. And PMT is nothing but called as equated installment. It can be annual or monthly or so on. Here I've taken annual, so I've kept as EAI, equated annual installment. Everyone with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, what I've done below that is that I have created a schedule of the principal and interest component in the installment. Remember, the installment that you are paying is fixed, but it has a component of principal and interest which we need to separate. And once we separate and when we see the schedule, that schedule is called amortization. Everyone, that is called amortization schedule. What is loan amortization schedule? Guys, loan amortization schedule is a schedule where you will actually see what is the component of interest and principal in the installment. Everyone. So here, if you see the columns I've done, guys, the opening balance of my loan was 100,000, right? The installment was 40,000, and the interest for the first year was 10,000. How did I get 10,000? 100,000 into 10%. That's the first year interest. So out of 40,000, if 10,000 was my interest component, then interest component I've kept INT, short form. Then the principal repaid from that. So out of 40,000, guys, if I subtract this 10,000, then the principal repaid is 30,211. Correct? So at the beginning of the year, I had 100,000 loan. Of that, interest 10,000. The remaining portion goes to the principal repayment. So 30,000 is the principal repaid. And the balance, how did I get the balance, guys? Here I got the balance as the initial principal minus the principal repaid. That closing balance is my outstanding loan at the end of first year. That is my balance in the loan account at the end of first year. Everyone with me?
Yes, sir.
That closing balance will become my opening balance for the second year. And on that, if I calculate 10% interest, it will be 6,978. My installment 40,000 is fixed. From that 6,978 is going to be my interest. So the remaining portion becomes my principal repaid. My principal repaid is 33,000, which I will subtract from 69, and the remaining balance will be 36,000. Again, I will continue it for the next year. So 10% on 36,000 will be the interest component. Remaining will be the principal component, and the principal component will be such that the balance in my loan account at the end will become 0 automatically. Are you with me on this, everyone?
Yes.
Now, if you see, the principal repaid component is increasing, interest paid component is reducing because you're paying off the principal. So your interest is on the loan balance, but your installment amount is same. Correct?
Yes.
Now, in your calculator, do you have 40,211.48 already?
Yes.
Now, all these things, if I were to calculate, for example, if I were to tell you what is the total interest you paid for the first 2 years, my question is, first question that I'm putting here is total interest in first 2 years. Guys, total interest in first 2 years. Can you tell me how much is the total interest in first years?
16,978.85.
Yes, that is the total of this to 16,978.85. So I'll write here it is 16,978.85. Correct. Now, if I ask you a second question, how much is the principal repaid till second year? So can I say till second year, the total principal repaid is the summation of these two, that is 63,444. 63,444.11. How did I get that? I added both the principal, the total principal repaid in 2 years. Clear? And if I ask you the total interest paid on the loan, on the entire loan, what are you going to do? You're going to simply add all the interest, which is, if you add all these three, you get 2634.44, right? 2634.44. 634.44. What have I done? I've just added all the interest. Are you with me on this? Now,
Yes.
all this thing is easily doable in your calculator. That's the magic. How to do that? Guys, in your calculator, you have a function, and that is second, press second PV. When you press second PV, just behind PV, it is written AMORT, amortization. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
So when you press second PV, what do you get?
P1.
P1, correct? Now guys, P1, which means 0.1, which can be year. If this is year, this is year 1. What is there in front of P1? What do you see in your screen?
1.
1, right? By default, it is 1.
Yes.
Press the down arrow key. What do you notice?
P2.
P2, that is second point. Again, it is set at 1, correct?
Yes.
Then when you press the down arrow key, what do you notice?
Balance.
You will see something called balance. So in the
9.
first year, your balance would be, in your screen, it would be 69788, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So you already have the balance in the loan account at the end of first year. Everyone with me? Then when you press the down arrow key again, you will get PRN. PRN is principal repaid till that point. How much is the principal repaid? You must have got there 30211. Correct?
30211.
And then again, if you press down arrow key, it will show you INT, which is interest, and that interest will be 10,000. Clear? Now this is where the P1 was set as 1 and the P2 was 1. That is for first year. So starting from first year till first year. But if you look at my question was total interest paid in 2 years. So can I say 2 years includes the first and the second year both? So I have to start from first and end to second year, right? So guys,
Yes.
press second PV again, second PV. So your P1 now you're going to put 1, but your P2 you will put as 2. P2, press 2 and enter. Correct? And then you press down arrow key. Just tell me what you get.
Balance.
And your balance must be 36,555.
Yes.
Again, you press down arrow key, you'll get the principal repaid, which will be total of the first two, which is 63,444, right? Are you getting it? Everyone getting this answer? The principal repaid must be the total principal repaid for the first 2 years. So you must have got 63,444.11. Everyone.
Yes, sir.
Then you again press the down arrow key. You'll get interest component for both the years, which will be 16,978. In this way, you can find for any particular period. So if I wanted to find total interest in the entire loan, what should I do? What should I set my P1 as? P1 should be 1.
Yes.
What should be my P2?
Yes.
Period of the loan, tenure of the loan.
Yes, that is 3 in this case. Very good. So now when you press second amount, that is second PV again, then when you go P1 as 1 and P2 as 3, and then when you press down arrow, your balance will be 0. Your principal repaid will be the total, which is nothing but 1 lakh or 100,000. Right? And then you check your interest. So interest will be the total of all 3, which is 2634. Got it?
Yes.
But if you just had to find interest of third year, only third year specific, then your P1 should be 3 and P2 should also be 3, because you are finding only third year, not cumulative. I'm not saying total interest for 3 years. I'm saying interest of the third year. If they ask you one of the component, then what you are going to do, guys? Then you are going to put second PV, P1 as 3, P2 also as 3. And then when you go down arrow, and then there will you'll get interest of 3655.5. Just check it, guys. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So in this way, you can actually find first installment of loan using our normal PMT function, and then you can find anything that they would ask. So it actually does the job much easier than the spreadsheet also. That's where your calculator is worth it. It does all the annuity calculations. It does all the loan calculations. Very interesting. So if someone asks you, what will be my installment is fixed, what will be my principal repaid by the end of 5th year, you can find that. What will be my interest component on the 7th installment, you can find that. How much will be the remaining balance of principal to be paid at the end of 12th year, you can find that. How to do that, we will see that, but this is how easier it is. You can answer any question that they would ask just by going to your calculator functions. Clear, everyone? Right? So now let me show you how to do that in exam. Exam, of course, you're not going to get the spreadsheet, right? So let me now show you here. The next thing that we are doing is amortization. What is amortization, guys? Amortization is where you are going to see the schedule of loan repayment, where the installment has 2 components. One is principal, another is interest. Remember, the more and more the principal is paid every year, the lesser of your balance is remaining, and therefore the interest component keeps on falling. Clear, everyone? Right? So what we did there is that we took an installment of the loan, we calculated the equated installment by pressing second amount function, that is second PV, right? The function is second PV, which is nothing but second amount. When you press second, it takes a function behind that, that is amortization schedule, and from point to point. So P1 is nothing from point 1, P2 is nothing till point 2. So that can be any point. For example, if you are seeing for 5 years, so P1 can be 1, P2 can be 5. So total 5 years information it will give you. Clear, everyone? So Can we try an example on this? Everyone. Yes. So there is a loan of 100,000 with an interest rate of 7%, which needs to be repaid in 48 monthly installments. So 100,000 loan, 7% interest and 48 installment. What is the first thing you'll find out for me, guys?
PMT.
PMT. Can you just find out, guys? Take your time and let me know what is the PMT. Yes. Anybody?
$29,522.
Okay, let me check. And I know there are some common mistakes that people do. So what is your PV?
1 lakh.
Okay. So you've kept your PV as 100,000. Your interest is 7 divided by 12 because it is monthly installment. Got it? Your FE is 0. And therefore, let me know what is your PMT now. Did you get the error? Interest should be 7 divided by 12 because it is monthly installment. Correct? So let me know what is your PMT, your installment.
$2,394.62.
2394.62. Correct. So this is most of the times people do an error that their focus is somewhere else. And because we are actually focusing more on the new function, so we forget the old traditional thing, and that the traditional thing here was that you have to take the interest 7 by 12 because the interest is yearly, the installments are monthly. Got it? Clear, everyone? Now press second amount function, second PV. So each one of you will try one question. Everyone with me, or probably you can try, anyone who wants you can try. So the question that there is balance left in the loan after first installment, balance left in the loan. So the remaining balance, right? After first installment. So what will I put P1 as?
1.
And my P2 will also be
1.
1. So just put P1 as 1, P2 as 1, and then keep on pressing the down arrow and let me know what is the balance that you get.
98,188.
Correct. 0.7. Very good. Yes. The next one. Balance left in the loan after fourth installment. What will you put P1 as?
4.
Correct. So after fourth installment, the balance, the remaining balance. And P2?
4.
Correct. P1 as 4, P2 as also 4. And you will get a balance which will be?
92691.2.
Very good. Now comes interesting thing. Principal repaid till the end of 10th installment. What is the P1 that you will put?
1.
Very good. And your P2 will be
10.
10 because total principal paid till, they have not said principal repaid on the 10th installment. They have said principal repaid till the 10th installment. Got it, everyone? So it will be a summation of all the principals. Yes. Anyone with the answer?
7,308.8.
81404.
81404.20.
Are you sure? 81?
Yes.
404.15.
Okay. 81 till the 10th installment. Are you saying 81,000? Can you tell me what is the amount?
81,404.
How can it be 81,000? The loan is of 100,000. There are 48 installments. And after 10th installment, it cannot be 81,000.
18,595.8.
Yes, it should be 18,000. Guys, you all are checking the balance. I need principal
Yes,
repaid.
18,595.
PRN. Principal repaid is PRN. That is
595.
18,595. Guys, also check. Don't just pull out the first number. Okay. Principal repaid is PRN. Balance is BAL. Okay. And at times also logically think, how can 81,000 be paid in 10 installment when the loan is a 48 installment? Right? The next one, interest paid during the first year of the loan. The one who gives this answer correctly will get $1 million from me. And listen carefully. The one who gives this answer correctly will get how much? $1 million gift from me. Okay. Are you ready? But the one who gives incorrect answer will pay me $1 million. Are you ready for the challenge? Those are,
508.
see, you get $1 million from me or you pay $1 million. Anyone who's ready for the bet?
Yes, sir. Accepted. 583.
No. First, hold on. You accepted, right?
मतलब
$1 million on record. It
वो
is.
सर लास्ट लेक्चर में भी बोला था आपने जो आंसर देगा उतना डॉलर दूंगा तो 50 जमा पड़ा है मेरा.
But you
काट
gave
लेना.
correct answer. So I also told you that you'll have to pay the difference.
तो मैंने म्यूट कर दिया था.
So now, Jay, you are accepting the $1 million challenge, right?
Yes, sir. Challenge
Anyone
accepted.
wants to join? I can pay $3 million. I can pay $5 million. I have enough wealth. Don't worry. But if you lose, you all will have to pay me. Okay.
सर पैसे नहीं चाहिए, क्लासेस कर दो फ्री.
Once, see, what is gone is gone. What is credited is credited.
आगे फ्यूचर के फ्री कर दो.
No. Past does not come back. We are talking about future. जो पैसा दे दिया हो गया वो भूल जाओ. $1 million. Okay. That is the challenge. So Jay has committed me. He's gonna give me $1 million. If he's wrong, if you're right, don't worry. I'll pay you $2 million. Okay.
If I'm wrong, I'll quit the meeting.
Don't quit. Don't worry. You'll have to quit the country, bro. You'll not only the meeting, you'll have to quit the country.
क्या सर $2 लाख में इंडिया छुड़वाओगे?
Okay.
कर ले.
Chalo. So interest paid during the first year of the loan. What is going to be your P1?
1.
1.
Everyone agree 1?
Yes.
What is going to be your P2?
1.
Yes?
1.
This is where I win $1 million. Your P2 has to be 12. First year of the loan. The loan is paid in monthly installment. So in 1 year, you have 12 months. Got it? Everyone,
Yes, sir.
yeah, this is where I make 1 million. Okay.
I had not accepted the challenge.
It's okay. Jay is going to give us 1 million. We will all share and have fun. Don't worry.
बच्चों को लूटो आप मिलके.
I love that. So, this is interesting. First year is 12 installment because this is a monthly loan. Okay. Now you can find the interest. Now it's easy.
6,282.9.
Yes. 6 to
88.9.
9. Very good.
Perfect answer है sir.
No, this is not done. Now so it will be perfect, right?
Hints तो मिलती है ना सबको.
No. There's no hint in $1 million challenges. I won. You owe me $1 million. I'm coming there next month in Gujarat. Be ready with the bags. Okay.
सर अमिताभ जी खुद 4 लाइफलाइन देते हैं.
Okay. ठीक है. चलो. Next time I'll give you that lifeline also. CFA Institute is great. It gives you 3. Only 3 choices. Better than KBC.
जय माता जी है, जय माता जी भी, जय माता.
Okay. The next one. Interest payment component of 20th installment. Interesting. Interest payment component of 20th installment. What should be the P1?
20.
And P2 will also be 20.
20.
Because they are asking specific 20th installment ka interest. Okay. So your answer is?
371.7.
Yes. Similarly, they have said principal repayment component of 20th installment. You are already in the 20th one. And your PRN will be?
2000.
2022.9, correct?
9.
And the last but not the least, total interest paid for the entire term of the loan. Total interest. P1 will be 1. P2 will be?
48.
48, correct. And then you find the interest. So your interest will be?
14,942.0.
Correct. 14,942. That will be your amount. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So this is how amortization is done. You first get the annuity amount, PMT, and then you are ready to answer whatever they want to ask. I've given you 6-7 situations. So you can answer whatever they want. If they want to know the balance, if they want to know the principal repay or the interest component, you can answer. If they want to know the cumulative, then your P1 will begin from one point till the other point. But if they want a particular component, then your P1 and P2 will be same. Everyone clear till this point?
Yes, sir.
Right? Guys, we are not yet done with time value of money. And no problem, because time value of money will create a very good foundation for you in fixed income, equity, and corporate. So there's no harm even if it takes time. So we are done with multiple cash flow, perpetual cash flow, and now we are remaining with the last. And we have also done the amortization. Now we are remaining with just few calculations, that is about the growth rate, retirement planning, that is important, and then I'll discuss about the interest component. So these 3 stuffs are remaining. So we are yet to do growth rate and retirement planning and interest component. That is what we'll finish probably in the next session. We are done for the day. So in the next session, we'll be finishing up with time value of money. We'll be starting with reading number 7, which is statistics and interesting. And most of the functions that you'll be required in entire CFA is what we've done. So what you're going to do is that you're going to practice all the examples that we've done till this point. And tomorrow or in the next session, when we do reading number 7, of course, after the session, I have sent you a few details about, I had asked your details about, your first name, last name, and email ID. So I've created a portal where you will go and give that test. And from that test, it's going to be a computer-based test, multiple choice, wherein you'll go log in. I will send you the login details. and there you will go test, and about the test I'll announce tomorrow, not today. So what you need to do right now is just practice what has happened in the class. That's sufficient. And then I'll discuss about the test in the next session once we are done with time and effort. Correct? So meet you all in the next session and I'll send you the invite. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Anyone,
Yes.
any doubts? I'm here. And those who do not have doubt, no worries. We'll meet in the next session. Those who have doubts can wait. Okay? Thank you and have a nice day. Any doubts? Feel free to ask me. And if you have no doubts, don't worry, we'll meet tomorrow and we'll do a quick revision of today's session and then we'll go ahead with the next readings.
I wanted to ask you one question.
Yes.
So
Yes.
for when we find annuity due, so that is the beginning of the year. So we did the questions for like finding the present value.
Correct. Correct.
But what if it was finding the future value?
Okay. So we did future value annuity. I'll show you annuity, future value with annuity due also. So this example, if you notice here, we did future value of annuity due where the 14,000 started from today. And then we found the future value. Remember this example? Where
Yes.
the 15,000 investment started immediately. Correct?
With the one which we did like today for the I don't remember the example number.
Okay. The present value one or future value one? Present value, right?
Present value one, yeah.
Okay, let me go to present value, annuity. Okay. And in that, we did this one, right? The 54,000 one. This is the one with annuity due.
Yes.
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 In this,
Okay.
the
So for
50,000
this
started today, right? Immediately.
Okay. So my question was like, if we have to find out present value,
Right.
then it would be at the end of the third year, right?
No,
Like the future value would be.
Okay. Okay. Now that so what happens in future value? Very interesting question you asked. See, I'll go back to the future value for this to explain. And there is a default thing which happens. So here in this case, for example, let me take the end of the period. When my calculator is set as at the end of the period, okay, not at the beginning. First, understand that. The first installment you're putting at 14,000 is at the end of the first year, right? You are trying to find the value at the end of 25th year, and the last cash flow is also at the end of 25th year in this example. Got it?
Yes.
So by default, when your calculator is set at the end mode, it gives you the value at the last cash flow. I'll repeat. By default, when your calculator is set at the end mode, what it does is that it gives you the value at the
End of the
last cash flow. Clear? Now see what happened when the future value, when your annuity was due. So when your annuity was due, can you think that what was your last cash flow? When was it? At the end of 25th or 24th year?
24th.
Yes. Now, it was at 24th year, right? If your calculator was set at the end mode, assume if your calculator was set at the end mode, it would give you the future value at what point?
End of 25th year.
No. Hold on. See here. Let us discuss again. In this part, in the first part, when is my last cash flow? At the end of 25th year? Correct?
Yes.
And my calculator is also at the end mode, right?
Yes.
So when the calculator is at end mode, and when you are calculating future value, it gives you the value at the last cash flow, that is 25th year only.
Yes.
So technically, it's illogical. Why? Because at the end of 25th year, you are investing something, and on the 25th year only, you are saying this is going to be my future value. It means you have not invested only. That is, technically, it looks incorrect, right? So
Yes.
you're putting 14,000, the last installment is 14,000, and that day only you are getting the future value 623,913. Correct? So it sounds a bit illogical, but the calculator is made, the function is made in a manner, the future value function, that I'll repeat, if your calculator is at the end mode, and then if you're calculating the future value, it gives you the value at the last cash flow. And the last cash flow in this case is 25th year, right?
Okay.
Now, again, keep the same concept. Now, assume my calculator is still at the end mode. Okay, my calculator is still at the end mode. And in this case, if I were to solve, irrespective of whatever the cash flow is and wherever it begins, when is my last cash flow? When is my last cash flow?
End of 24th year.
So if I don't change the mode of my calculator, it will give me an answer at the end of 24th year.
24th year. Yes.
It's not correct. I want to see my value at the end of 25th year. Are you getting it?
Okay. Yes.
So I need to think that first of all, I need to change the mode into beginning so that it captures the cash flow from today itself and takes all the 25 cash flows, where the last cash flow, even though it is at the end of 24th year, since I changed the mode of the calculator, it will automatically throw me not at the end of 24th, but a year ahead, which is 25th. So I don't have to manually do that because I changed the mode of the calculator.
Okay.
If I don't change the mode, then it will stuck me at the end of the last installment, which is 24th. Got it?
Yes. So this will be the value of at the end of the 25th year.
25th. Correct.
Yes. Okay.
Now see the logic also. Now see the logic. You're paying 25 installments of 14,000, right?
Yes.
And you are seeing the value at the end of 25th year, but your installment starts after 1 year. So you are accumulating 623,913, right?
Yes.
Now, had you started it from today itself and you had still paid 25 installments only, then it is that you have started 1 year early investment, correct?
Yes.
So then you would get that benefit and your value should be higher than that. That is 651. So can I say you invested 1 year earlier?
Yeah.
So what is the amount? Can you put in your calculator 623,913? 623,913. This is because you invested late, right? Now, 623,913 you put in the calculator, right?
Yeah.
Now add 4.5% interest to it. How do I add? Multiply that with 1.045. 1.045. It means that I am taking it a year earlier. So I'm adding 4.5 interest on it. Did you add that into multiply with? And what is your answer now?
651,989.
Got it?
Yes.
Now
Okay.
this is accurate. So when is this accurate? When I change my mode to the beginning, it automatically throws me not at the end of 24, but at the end of 25. So it does the job which I want to do manually.
Okay.
Clear? Now, since you've asked this thing, let me cater the same thing what happens in present value, right? That must be your doubt. Now, how this works in present value. So now see in present value, In present value, I told you that when your calculator is set at the end mode, it throws you a year behind.
So it will just be minus 14,000.
No, so here, see in this example, ordinary annuity. Your cash flow starts after first year, right?
Yes.
In this case. So your calculator is by default at the end mode. So when you take a present value of this annuity, it throws you a year back. So from your cash flow starts from first year. So it throws you at year 0. That is where you get your present value. Got it?
Yeah.
But when you set at the beginning mode, you can't go behind year 0. So if in the same thing, when my first cash flow starts from today itself, and I've set the calculator at the beginning mode, it will not throw me back. It will keep me there itself, today only.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
So you know what is this amount like 54,000? You have actually discounted only to 54,000. That is our first and second year. And the today's 54,000 is 54,000 only. So you have 54,000 and present value of the other 254,000. So the calculator in present value, I'll conclude, in present value, when your calculator is at the end mode, it throws your year back. But when your calculator is at the beginning value, beginning mode, it keeps you at the year where you are, where the first cash flows.
So for this question, if I am putting it on end mode, for example,
you can't do that because your cash flow is at the, so you'll have to take everything 1 year behind if you do that. So I told you the logic, you multiplied with 1.045, right? Yes. Now here, assume your 54,000 you are putting at the end of the period, right?
Yes.
So you want to do that? Do that. Let's say your calculator is at the end mode. Put 54,000 as PMT. And then put N as 3, I as 4, 0 as FV and calculate PV.
No, I'm asking if I put N as 2.
No.
Okay.
Just I'll explain you both the ways. So first do this.
Three as N and 4 as I.
Everything same, just the calculator is not at the beginning mode, it's at the end mode.
Okay. Okay.
Now what is the answer that you get? Everything same.
149.
No, sorry. Okay. No, you must have got 54,000. Okay.
54,000 as PMT.
Yes. 3 as
3
N.
as N.
4 as I by Y.
0 as future value.
Right. And then you calculate the PV. How much did you get?
149,854.
Right. Now multiply that with 1.04. Multiply that with 1.04. Did you get the answer?
Yeah. Yes, 155,849. Right? So okay.
This is what is because you had set the calculator at end mode, it gave you a lower value, but your cash flow is immediate, right? So it should be more. So I add that more here. Now, the second thing that you were saying me, I'll come to that. So let's take the 54,000 present value of only 2 cash flows. So now 54,000 you put PMT, you already have, right? Take the NS2, N2. I is as it is, FV is also 0, right? Now calculate CPT PV.
101,849.
And now add 54,000 to it, you'll get 155.
Okay.
Correct. So there are different ways of doing it, but you don't have to do all this labor job, all this manual job, because the beginning function. It does the work that you probably, I showed you the manual way of doing it.
Yes, yes.
The burden is not required if you have the beginning function. If you use the beginning function, it does all that job for you. So it's hassle free because of that. So you'll never be in that situation wherein you'll have to do that because you have the beginning mode already set up in the calculator. So it automatically does that. Got it?
Okay.
Clear? Perfect. Yes. Anyone has any doubts? Right. Okay. So guys, if you have any doubts, please let me know, or we meet in the next session. Correct? If you have any doubts, you can also ping me on the phone, or you can just simply call me up. Clear? So we'll meet tomorrow. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
do the practice of the sums, and while you're practicing, if you come across any doubt, just ping me up. Right? So let's meet for the session, next session. And the only thing that you have to do is that you have to revise what has happened in the class. Take your time, take a break, and then revise. And remember, 15 hours a week. Apart from the class, 15 hours a week of study is important, right? So do follow that. Correct? See you all in the next session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.